welcome to your Access Point to Washington. I'm Aisha Tanzim. Whatever Pakistan's problems are, the people who suffer the most are the youth, both because they're now a majority of Pakistan's population and also because they have their whole lives ahead of them. Can Pakistan's youth save their future? Joining me to discuss this in the Washington studios are Michael Kugelman of the Woodrow Wilson Center, who works extensively with social media involvement in Pakistani youth, and Mehtab Karim, a professor of public policy at George Mason University. He's doing research on the attitudes, aspirations, and entrepreneurial potentials among the youth in Pakistan. And we are joined in our New York studios by a Pakistani youth activist, Mohammad Shehzad Khan, who recently received an award from Friends of UNFPA for his contributions to the health and dignity of women. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. There's a perception, rightly or wrongly, that in Pakistan, the government is not willing to do anything. It doesn't want to do anything, and the politicians are only there to make money. Now, I'm not going to argue on that, but it's a very hopeless situation for a young person growing up. So, Mike, I'll start with you. What do the youth in Pakistan do?
Well, I mean, you're talking about a country with 180 million people, of which 2/3 of them are under the age of 30. So it's hard to answer that question using broad and brush strokes. But sure, I mean, youth are mobilizing in ways they hadn't been in the last few years. And I think a major reason for that is the growth of social media. It's provided a tool to young people who in Pakistan tend to be quite internet savvy, particularly in urban areas.
It's easy to say, well, the youth can mobilize their social media, but to mobilize, you need awareness. And to be aware, you need education. When we don't have education at the ground level, is it too much to expect the youth to even know what they should be asking for?
Well, I mean, yes, I think education is the key. Being an educator myself, I can appreciate that. But one thing which is becoming very clear that the youth of today, as compared to say my generation, is not only more educated but is much more aware, and that awareness comes through, as Michael already mentioned, that social media, internet savvy. This survey which I did do in Karachi City, about half of the young people, irrespective of what class they are coming from, they have access to internet. About 95% have mobile phones, and about half of the mobile phones are connected to internet. So that's the kind of news they are getting. That's making them more active. Besides, one very interesting thing, if you look at the recent demography of Pakistan, especially related to education, there are more girls who are going to colleges and universities. And in most of the universities in Pakistan and colleges, where they have co-education, they are more females than males.
Okay, let me bring in Shehzad here, who himself is a young activist. Tell me, when you travel around Pakistan, do you see that young people are aware? Do they know what they need, what they should ask for, and what they deserve?
Actually, this is very interesting because as Michael also mentioned that there are 104 million young people in Pakistan out of 180 million population. And I used to travel a lot throughout Pakistan, and not only to the 4 provinces, but also to Gilgit-Baltistan region and also Azad Kashmir. And the young people in all of these areas, all the provinces, they are very much aware of what is going on. They are very much active as well and proactive sometimes to bring their issues on board. And interestingly, there's also acceptability amongst the adults of the society, particularly in the development sector and the government and media as well. They are ready to listen to young people, and that provides young people an opportunity to raise voices about their issues, whether it's about education, it's about peace, it's about like their profession or their employability. All these issues, young people are very aware.
So here's a simple question. I'm a young man or woman in Pakistan. I'm growing up. I want to get education. I want to be involved. What do I do? And I'll ask all 3 of you, starting with you.
Well, one area in which I'm working is promoting entrepreneurship. Everybody wants a job, but there are not enough jobs available anywhere in the world, even in the US. So what one does do? Okay, you go and look for private sector jobs because there's no. If there are not enough private sector jobs, what do? You create jobs for yourself. And there are enough talents available among young people, all of us know, that they just need some guidance. And what is missing here, what I see that, okay, government is promoting establishing universities and colleges, but there is no technical education center where youth, young men and women can go and get training, and they can be basically convinced that, okay, after getting this, you don't need to find a job. You become entrepreneurs.
Shehzad, you created an option for yourself. You started Chanan Development Association. Tell me how you did it.
When we established the Chanan Development Association in 2006, it was very, very difficult for us, to being recognized even amongst the civil society, and government is like was too far at that time, because we were asked that you are too young, you can be the volunteers, you can be the interns, but you cannot be the equal partners in development. We struggled hard. We got first amount of money was just 5,000 rupees, and we engaged around 1,000 young people in these 5,000 rupees. And when we submitted the report, then the donor and they just start connecting us with others. And now I can say it's just 5 years. Now all the meetings and consultations that are happening within development sector, within UN, and even the government sector, they are at least having the representatives of young people. So now there's a big acceptability.
I don't know how to, but I don't think that, you see, one thing which is very important, and this gentleman, I should appreciate that only 10% of Pakistani youth ages 17 to 23, which is college going age, is going to colleges. They're enrolled there. So you're not talking about 90% of youth in Pakistan. You see, that they don't go to colleges. You see, and I think the best way is to reach out to the people, or to the young men and women who are out of college. I mean, those who go to colleges and universities, they're privileged people.
Right.
Only 10% of the population.
Michael, you've worked a lot with social media. Do we have some of that 90% active on social media, or even that is something that's left for the privileged class?
Well, definitely not 90%. I mean, if you look at figures, those that use social media in Pakistan, it's several million. We're talking about 6-7 million on Facebook, 2 million on Twitter, and those that are internet connected, it's significantly more, about 19-20 million, which is great, but that's nowhere close to everyone. But it's definitely an improvement, and it's a larger number than those that are in universities, as Dr. Karim said.
Yeah, but Mike, there is another point here. Talking to a demographer, about 55 million young men and women are there who are between ages 15 to 29.
Right.
That's 30% of Pakistan's population. So if you have 7 million on Facebooks, there are also people like me who no way I'm a youth. So what I'm saying, yeah, okay, so there are perhaps a million or a couple of million or maybe 3 million.
Even if we put
younger.
their figure at 3 or 4 million,
Right.
it's still very low. Shehzad, how do we reach out to those people who are not in colleges, who are not on Facebook, who are not on Twitter, and maybe the kind of people that you reach out to?
Actually, the important thing to reach out to those who are not, even at schools, like college is a big thing. There are a lot of organizations that are using very innovative ideas, and also from Youth Peer Education Network, they're using like interactive theater and also doing peer education, because when a peer is educated, then the peers amongst themselves, they have a big influence on them. So they start reaching to them about and raising awareness amongst them. And another thing that the government should do to reach out to almost 100% is the devolution. The local government system was something that is a very good initiative by the General Pervez Musharraf. I should appreciate that. That provides an opportunity to the younger generation of a very local community, to come and take part in the politics, and at least to serve and start serving, at a local, at the union council level. And then therefrom you get an experience, you build your leadership, and that's how we can get more leadership coming from the grassroots.
That's all the time we have for today. Before we leave, I want to thank our guests, Michael Kugelman of Woodrow Wilson, Mehtab Karim of George Mason, and Mohammad Shehzad Khan of Chanan Development Association, who recently received an award by no other than Ban Ki-moon. I want you to remind you not to forget that you can watch this show again on our website, on our Facebook page. Leave your comments, tell your friends, tell us what other topics you want us to talk about. Also on our webpage, www.urduvoa.com, there are stories, there are analysis pieces, there are updates. their news. Check it out. Thank you for joining us on Access Point. Goodbye and good night.